CFM.
CFM Radio. We are back. It is Wednesday, my dude.
What is up, gamers across the internet and YouTube? Welcome back to CFM Radio, Video Game Music and News. What is up this week, Vector?
What is up, Drix? Video game music and news. I am Vector. This is Drix, as always, spinning the best tunes while we give you the best video game music and news. But Drix, I gotta say, we have been playing a lot of games, so this week it's a little bit of a news light week.
Yeah, we are absolutely talking games tonight, because tonight the news is the games.
The news is the games. We love nights like these where we can just talk games with everybody on CFM Radio. We're jamming out, we're playing games, we're talking games. Talking some low-key games, some games that you may not have picked up, but they're out there. And you know what? For my money, I would say the games that we're going to cover tonight, none of them are bad.
Yeah. But they are also works of art and teams working towards a creative vision. There's always something to be applauded for that.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, without the wild teams of artists and fantastic engineers and visionaries behind them, you know, that's what games are all about, crafting and experience. And Drix, I gotta tell you, because on top of the stuff that we have been playing, on top of the stuff that we're going to review, I just cannot stop playing Marathon.
Yeah, right. I feel the same way about the new Pokemon pinball machine. I am always running to my local brewery and making pit stops to go enjoy some of that. I wish I had a better game during the finals of my pinball league, though. I kind of shit the bed, as they say, but ended up in 7th place, went home with about $40, you know, and the competition where I'm at is pretty tough, but it's nice to have those, you know, high tier players out there to really give you some perspective on, you know, what can be done and how to get there.
I mean, that's the spirit of competition, right? Competition breeds improvement, you know, because you got to adapt. And when you've got those people there who will push you and push your game to the next level, they really, you really start seeing how quick not only you improve, but how quickly your understanding of a game broadens, right?
Yeah, exactly. And after, you know, 12 seasons playing here, everybody's gotten good, and it's a good time.
And that's kind of how it is. That's kind of how it's starting to be in Marathon, right? It's one of those things where we're about a month in. We're about a month deep into Marathon, and it's been about 3 weeks of Cryo Archive and Ranked mode. And I gotta tell you, I just started going into the Ranked mode. It is a different game. It's like a different beast, but it is the fundamentals from just running around and your basic survival instincts in Marathon. They really do take you far in these high risk, high reward situations where you feel as though your back is against the wall often, like way more often than you would think.
Yeah, you got to develop your survival instinct and know when to hold them and know when to take out your knife and stab them.
Yeah, pretty much. And R.I.P. the knife. It got a slight nerf, not totally gutting. But you can no longer like completely annihilate people who are wearing purple shields. So.
Yeah. I remember that one time I got a kill.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. But no, and it's like you're saying, you know, you get these people, you run into these people in these settings like Ranked or in the big Cryo Archive raid map, and you just you're kind of like in awe because you're like, whoa, how'd that guy get that good?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he hit me from where? Whoa! Like,
Yeah, I was never the best at aiming in first-person shooters, but I still have a good time when I pick up Marathon.
And, so beyond that, I have been looking into. I'm looking into picking up Crimson Desert, maybe towards either the end of the month or the top of next month. There's a lot of big name games coming out around this time, so it's pretty tough to get my ducks in a row,
Yeah, I mean, spring break, woo.
Sorry, Drix, what was that?
I said spring break. Yep, everybody was on spring break.
Everyone was on spring break.
Yep, even our mic audio took a spring break right there for a second.
Just a little bit, yeah. No, I think I had a little bit of lag. I just resolved it out, but having a little bit of interference. But it's okay, and because there's a lot that's going on. I believe Saros is the game that I'm looking forward to most at the end of the month. You looking forward to any games coming out anytime soon, Drix?
Oh no, I'm still playing some of the best games from the last 2 or 3 years over on my PlayStation Plus Premium subscription. So I still feel like I've got a lot of catching up to do. Of course, some retro games that I would love to dive into, but I've mostly been playing a lot of Tropico 6. But as I've been playing a lot of Tropico 6, I just got to the chocolate factory level where I'm trying to crank out some delicious sweets. But as I've been playing it in the launcher for Tropico 6, I have been seeing that they are working on Tropico 7. So that's actually one that I'm now pretty excited about as I've been revisiting that one.
Tropico, great. It's not like a real-time strategy. It's kind of one of those. Not quite a real-time strategy. Not quite a god game.
Yeah, it's a city builder at its core. It's also a simulation. Instead of Sim City, you got Sim Island in the Caribbean.
Yeah, exactly. And
how can I turn lush natural resources into money?
Absolutely. And hey, you know what? Money. You know what they do? They call money the root of all evil. But Drix, I don't know if you would agree after the game that you played.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's all in the fine print, baby, because we have been doing some dealings with the devil in Devil Jam.
Seeing Devil Jam on the screen now.
Yeah, so if you were here for our impressions last week, Devil Jam is an auto shooter or a survivors like, because it is indeed like Vampire Survivors.
Indeed.
It's an auto shooter, so you're mostly just moving around hordes of monsters and trying to survive, but because it is a roguelite, you're gonna be doing a good amount of dying. But with each death, you will make progress and enhance your abilities and unlock all kinds of things, and basically spend hours having fun fighting hordes and bosses and the like. So the thing that makes Devil Jam unique is it's pretty metal. Because as the story goes, you are a musician. You are one of 3 musicians who has made a contract with the devil himself, and you are helping the devil fight a war with death, which really speaks to me. I'm a bit of a metalhead when I'm not doing like punk rock and dance music, but this is like, I want to say it's like a Tenacious D auto shooter or roguelike, because or Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, like you're trying to survive the underworld and take part in this greater battle between dark forces and the like. But what makes it sort of innovative and different is that as you acquire new abilities to wipe out hordes and stuff, you place them on a grid that has like a beat, a rhythm to it. So sometimes you get like buffs that you can add to the rhythm grid, I'll keep calling it, and it will, enhance the abilities of like adjacent tiles in a pretty strategic way that I think is really unique and makes it stand out from other auto shooter survivor likes. Um, Overall, like the game really shines because of its art style, because of its metal sort of centered atmosphere, and killer, like absolutely great soundtrack. I was just jamming out the entire time playing this game, and even just headbanging during the pause menus. And let me tell you, when you get to the fight with death at the end of a run, then the like brutal screaming metal vocals like really kick in, and that was actually really exciting and pretty cool. I was looking around for that song to play it on the show, but it wasn't available anywhere online.
Oof.
But yeah, I was having a great time playing it for about 12 hours over the last week. But to get into the nitty gritty, not a perfect game. First of all, like these auto shooters kind of like dance around manual aiming mechanics, and there's a lot of things about Devil Jam that like I've played enough games in this genre now that I'm like, okay, this game does this good, this game does that good. To toggle the auto aim, you click the left thumbstick, and there's not often a lot of like reasons why you'd want to do that. But the controls feel a little clunky, like toggling that on and off, like could have been done better. Especially with a controller, like can I just tilt the stick in a direction and shoot that way? Like do I have to toggle something on and off,
Oh, yeah.
That would have been really useful for me to actually like make use of the manual aiming, or like in Vital Shell, there's some special weapons that like you really want to aim because they pierce through the hordes and stuff like that. Didn't really get a lot of that, and that's kind of the downfall of Devil Jam, where it's great if it's like your first auto shooter, or if you're really just a metalhead and you want like a metal / demonic hell themed auto shooter, your abilities come from like the 7 deadly sins, and they're all really cool and interesting characters, but there's a lot of things I wanted more of from this game, because as I was playing it, like especially having the experience that I have with other games in the genre, like I don't know, this could have been really fun just as like an action game, like I don't think it needed to sort of cater into this like auto shooter survivor like thing. I would have liked a lot more like story out of it, because I really enjoyed like the characters. It would have been cool if they had some kind of like background or development or a little more interactivity. Like I was telling Vector last week, I have never played Hades, but that game probably presents its story in like a much cleaner fashion than Devil Jam does. Another thing is the voiceovers. It's kind of like off and on for some reason.
Oh.
Yeah, like sometimes it's just text, but then other times the characters have voices. And this game actually came out on PC already. This is the console release that we are reviewing. So I figure if they were going to update more voiceover, character acting, and stuff like that, they probably would have done it by now, right? And,
especially if it's been out.
Yeah, exactly. And as I'm touching on a little bit of my bias here too. As a musician, music fan, music player, performer, enjoyer, entertainer, one of the missed opportunities that I was seeing was that I wish I had a deeper level of interactivity with the music.
Kind of like a hi-fi rush type thing.
Yeah, like that would have been perfect if it was, more in the hi-fi rush arena of games instead of like Vampire Survivors, and then if it was structured in that way, I could have gotten a lot more story and character development and stuff like that. And then once you play for about 10 hours, there's like different levels, but they kind of look a little too similar. They don't feel all that different. And a couple of like challenging stages where it's like, oh no, like you don't get quest or experience progress. You just have to like dodge attacks the whole time or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it eventually kind of devolves into what feels like a grind to extend like the hours of gameplay that you're gonna get out of it, which is, it's fun. Don't get me wrong, like this is a good game. I thoroughly enjoyed playing it, but after certain points can kind of just feel like, okay, you're gonna turn up the difficulty, then I'm gonna do this again, and then I'm gonna get all the unlocks. Or if I want all the unlocks, I can just turn down the difficulty and then do whatever the
okay.
and then but yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. I really wanted to give this one a 4 because it hit in a lot of ways, but unfortunately, I'm gonna give Devil Jam a 3 out of 5. Good game, solid game. Again, if you want like a metal demonic hell themed auto shooter, or if you've just never played one before, like this would be perfect for either of those. Like if you haven't tried an auto shooter ever, I'd be like, yeah, I highly recommend this one as your entry point into the genre because it's a good time. Stands out on its own with the rhythm and music mechanics, but I would have liked some more either like rhythm game elements to it or like story driven action games. But for me, yeah, 3 out of 5.
That Devil Jam, yeah, Devil Jam. I'm checking it out from the B-roll, and it does look like there's a lot to love. It does have a great art direction. I love animation looks fantastic. Looks pretty hand drawn, and there's even multiple characters. But I mean, it's if the one thing that
so good that I wanted more of everything that it gave me. Like more songs, even like tempo changes, or like if the song slows down or speeds up during boss fights, like that would have really like added a lot. But yeah, as I was playing, I was just like, oh, there's a good amount of missed opportunity here that would have like really knocked this one out of the park.
And it sounds like just small stylistic changes, like obviously doing things like completely overhaul, like make it an action game. That's not really like, that's not where we're going with it. But it's more like what you were saying just now, right, Jakes? Where it's like you could have leaned a little bit more into the musical aesthetic, like Hi-Fi Rush, like you were saying, like up the tempo, lower the tempo,
strategy grid with the beat,
Yeah. So
cooldowns is what it eventually turns into.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah. So see, that would have been, especially when you're looking at it, it's like when we had the gameplay on the screen, you could see the grid clearly, especially when you're going into what appears to be a more matured grid, when like one attack is sending like 3 projectiles that bounce through enemies, pierce through enemies. That definitely seems like when the game begins, that it's an easy gimmick to both understand and get into. But if like how you're saying it, it's like, well, these kind of just end up being auto shooter mechanics.
And a lot of it is a lot of the synergy is random too. Like you're gonna need to use those re-rolls to get those specific quests or like really get the combos that you want. It's really cool when you place an ability on the grid and it like buffs different tiles around it in different ways. And we might even be getting a tips article from me over on clusterfuckmedia.com in the next week or so, because I definitely have some helpful advice for anybody thinking about picking up Devil Jam and playing it, so be on the lookout for that.
Absolutely. Devil Jam, 3 out of 5. A good auto shooter, solid mechanics, just doesn't take advantage of the little stylistic perks that the setting gives it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm more or less just a little auto shootered out because I have all these other points of reference,
Yeah.
for similar games that hit certain aspects a little harder and better than Devil Jam did.
And for me, someone who just came hot off the heels of Grind Survivors, I gotta say, even though Devil Jam, I'm not saying it doesn't look fantastic. It does, and I love the style, especially since when you look at Devil Jam, you're not gonna mistake it for anything else, right? But
yeah, exactly.
The one thing that I can compare it to with Grind Survivors from a couple of weeks back is, Grind Survivors took that extra mile with the mechanics, or I guess it just took itself a little bit more seriously. It really cared whether or not its weapons cared whether or not you were auto shooting or manual aiming. The characters some characters did better with certain weapons, so it seems like you just, without those little tiny wrinkles, these games can just be very tiresome. And honestly, Grind Survivors also was a 3 out of 5, right? Because that game kind of went too hard into the grind aspect that this genre kind of, I guess, can trap itself in.
Yeah, exactly. So these pitfalls are feeling pretty similar between the reviews that we've been doing this month.
Yeah,
in the last month.
In the last month, and it's no surprise that the auto shooter style of game, the auto shooter genre, is so popular. There's a lot to love about it. You jump in. It has that, if it's well made, it has that one more time kind of element where you're like, you get taken out and you're just like, all right, one more run, and then you just go for it.
Yeah, anybody can make a Souls-like, but not all of them will be like FromSoft making Dark Souls, Elden Ring,
Yeah, and just like anyone can make a first-person shooter, but it's not going to feel like a Bungie game. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, or GoldenEye 64.
Or GoldenEye, yeah, it's not going to be like that. So, that is Devil Jam. Pick it up if you're into it. If you're looking for an exceptional, like a truly exceptional auto shooter, probably not what you're looking for. But we're not
It's in minds.
Exactly. Exactly. But I will say, what I'm looking for is to jam out to this crazy song we've got going on. What is this, Triggs?
Speaking of the Nintendo 64, this is from Mischief Makers. This is the boss battle, but I will have some Sonic Adventure coming up for you next.
Mischief Makers, CFM Radio. Make sure, if you love us, subscribe, leave a comment, give us a like.
CFM Radio.
We'll be back.
Clusterfucked Media.
CFM Radio, Clusterfucked Media, that's F-U-K-T Media. If you are looking for some quick tips on Marathon, be sure to check it out, clusterfuckedmedia.com. If you love us, if you hate us, contact at clusterfuckedmedia.com. Again, that's F-U-K-T media.com. And Drix.
Yep. Always. Yep. Taking requests anywhere you want to throw them at me, too, if you want to hear some video game tunes.
We are on all your favorite social medias, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all the good stuff. So, hey, drop us a line, right?
Yeah. And let's get talking about games.
Indeed, because Drix, you are not the only one who played a game. I also checked out a game. You might have, if you were here last week, you might already know what we're going to talk about. But here it is. It is Origament. Now, so this game last week, I was singing its praises. I will not lie. It is a good game. It's a good game. Very, very good game. Like,
yeah. Finally, a Marble Madness right?
Yeah, when you put it like that, it is a nice callback, right? So it's but I gotta say, I wasn't really prepared for how much variety was in this game. And now this game does have a ton of heart. It's got there are a few moments, especially towards the end, where it tugs on your heartstrings a little bit, but this isn't one of those games where you're gonna walk away from it like misty-eyed. You know what I mean? You're not gonna walk away with some kind of like really big emotional core that you could resonate with. What you're gonna walk away with in this game is a surprisingly deep and challenging platformer.
Yeah, it's about time, and it's not going to traumatize you, huh?
Yeah, seriously. You know, and listen, the Origament is, I gotta be upfront, it is a short game. It didn't take me long to beat it. It took me less than 10 hours, right? But
so it wasn't a roguelike.
Yeah, exactly. It was not a roguelike. But it is a fantastic little experience for what it is. And to be honest with you, there's a lot to unlock in here. You'll see it on the B-roll here, but there are different skins that you could unlock for your little crumpled up pieces of paper. Things that you're looking at right now, from a golden wrapping paper skin crumpled up to like a wanted poster, right? To where like when you fly as a paper airplane on the wanted poster, it almost unfurls to show you the back of the poster. You know, it's a lot of small details. Really, really, really make this game just make you smile through the whole time you're playing.
Yeah, that's good to hear. We need more smiles.
And especially, but it's not. I gotta say, it's not all smiles, but it's not bad. It's not frowns. It's more that face you make when you just missed it, or when your mouth goes agape because wait, what? You know, there are small little moments in Origament that will help remind you that this game is indeed a platformer. You can go deceptively quick. There are challenge routes hidden that you can trigger throughout the entire game that are given to you by little NPCs, where you can race against a origami crane, and those challenges are, funny enough, rather challenging. They test your skill and mastery with the origami paper platforming system. And Drix, these little transformations that you can undergo, they actually have a little bit of depth.
That's good to hear. I'm glad to hear this little origami piece of paper can turn into so many things.
No, and it can turn into things, and some of these things might have properties you might not expect. For example, the boat, it is the best way to traverse water, but did you know that that boat, if you transform into it over a air vent, it's probably one of the better ways to make you float directly up on that air without moving to the side in any way.
Surprise.
So there are a lot of little tricks and wrinkles to the gameplay experience of Origament that really make it memorable. It's an interesting game when it all comes together because there's a lot of elements that like any good platformer, it will introduce you to something quickly and then use it for like about half the level, and then you'll almost never come back to it.
They forget.
Well, yeah, I don't even think it's like that. It's just every single level has its own personality and charm, not just with its gameplay mechanics, but as you can see with the locales. There is like a Tron world, there's a Wild West world, you have this kind of level where you've got almost like you're like in Venice, Italy kind of thing. So there you have a lot to sink your teeth into with Origament. And for such a short and funny enough, intense at times gaming experience, it is interesting to play a game that feels so humble until you start, for no pun intended, getting the ball rolling. So you don't really play a lot of platformers like this. The only other thing that I can kind of compare it to is like a Splatoon or the Shadow Generations levels where you turn into the squid itself, because even though you're not like sticking to walls and things like that, you are still transforming and into different forms and flying through levels, sometimes rather quickly. Like you could transform into a shuriken, quote unquote throw yourself, and then use the momentum from that like pushing forward to turn into a paper airplane and ride that momentum.
Yeah, no, it's just a couple steps above being a cozy game because of how fast-paced the action can get, right?
That's actually a really good way to think about it. It's like just cozy enough, right? Like
to not fit in.
Yeah, no, well, to not fit in with its like cozy game brethren, because there are times when you're like, wow, I did this this crazy platforming sequence, and I didn't do it correctly, and I overshot it, or I undershot it, or I transformed into the wrong form and completely killed all my momentum on accident. There's the moment-to-moment decision-making and the moment-to-moment gameplay can get pretty stacked. So it's one of those games where, much like Origami, it prioritizes you think first and then act patiently as you perform your action.
Yeah, fold carefully. Yes,
fold carefully with purpose. So in that way, I think Origament completely succeeds. In the ways that it falls short, there are actually very few. I feel as though maybe we could have had a little bit more in terms of unlockables. There are a good amount of unlockables, good amount of skins. You unlock origami lessons so that you too can fold origami at home.
Yeah.
And there are even later on in the game, there are even other unlockables, such as like a music room. But these things all kind of end up feeling shallow against the backdrop of such a short game. And you don't really get to feel like you have the time to intimately know or make a connection with these aesthetic elements. Whereas a game, a game like I don't know, like let's use an easy one, like a Marvel Maximum Collection or a Marvel vs. Ultimate Collection, where like you can enjoy all the games, even though they're shorter experiences, and they have a good amount of unlockables. Or even a game such as like Dead Cells or Grind Survivors, where you're unlocking little bits of artwork and little bits of like tracks of music to play in the game. These little tiny things could have really pushed this game over the edge and really made it be like, wow, this is like a standout game because it does something does something that you don't see every day with platforming. It makes a statement and it leverages its whole origami aesthetic into every facet of what it does. And I wish it did, again, a lot like Devil Jam. I wish that this game just kind of really leaned into the paper element, the origami element of everything, and I wish it leaned more into its own art direction, because it is beautiful. And I would have loved to unlock the music tracks as tracks I could just listen to while replaying a level.
Yeah, I like it so much. I want more.
Yeah, I like it so much. I want more. And for that, I will give Origament a 4 out of 5. It is a fantastic little game. If you're a platforming fan, you absolutely should pick it up. If you're looking for just a short gaming experience that can feel cozy, that you could put down and come back to without wrapping your mind around a bunch of systems, it's just the momentum and it's just the paper physics. It's perfect. It is a game that anyone can enjoy, and it doesn't overstay its welcome, and it utilizes its own aesthetic, combined with the mechanics of the game. Fantastic, makes an impression. Origament, if you're looking for a wind down game, a palate cleanser game, there is very few that are better than this.
Yeah, that all sounds very refreshing in the current gaming landscape and what people expect from video games. It really kind of subverts it into a, boundary pushing, side of the art form.
Yeah, it might tap on the boundary, right? It's not kicking the door in, but it's definitely marrying the two sides of the industry of gaming that you don't really see married too often: platforming and cozy game. And it doesn't compromise the identity of either one of those things to give you a good gaming experience. It's still a platformer at its heart, and it will challenge you like a platformer. It might not be Super Meat Boy, right? But it will challenge you as a platform gamer, and at least I did, you will appreciate this unique take on platforming.
Yeah, why not, strum a couple heart chords while you're in there?
Exactly. And you know what? There are times in this game it does sweep you off your feet, so I wouldn't be surprised if people felt that way.
Yes, I never thought I'd have feelings about a piece of paper.
Exactly. And that is Origament. And again, I feel like it's a 4 out of 5.
Very nice.
And right before we go to our last subject, which is I played some of the new Pokemon Champions. We are going to be checking out the new releases for the week.
Yes, a absolute staple here on CFM Radio. We wouldn't be very much video game news if we didn't tell you what was coming out on the horizon this week that you can play.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when we're able to give it to you, right? Like it sucks when these like NBA games or these Madden games, hell, even WWE, right? WWE doesn't like us putting that stuff on. They just like, nope, copyright.
Yeah, strike you.
Strike that down. But this one will not get struck down, Drakes, because this is Sunken Sky.
Yes, we love a good JRPG here on CFM Radio.
From the Steam page, quote, "Welcome to the world of Sunken Sky and get ready for an epic action adventure through a vast open world. No place is beyond your reach, from the tallest mountains to the very minds of others. Battle bizarre creatures and befriend even stranger people, all in a detailed, hand-drawn 2D style." And Sunken Sky releases tomorrow, Thursday, April 9th, exclusively on PC via Steam.
Yeah, we'll just have to give this one a shot to see what separates it from JRPGs and its counterparts.
And next up is another PC exclusive.
Oh yeah, you're gonna want a PC for this one, the way it's set up. It's
And-
like a labyrinth.
And this is Minos.
Yeah, haven't you ever wanted to play as the Minotaur?
I know I have. And from the Steam page, quote, "Minos is a maze-building roguelite where you, the fabled Minotaur, must defend your sanctuary from bloodthirsty adventurers. Design and redesign deadly labyrinth, set traps, and turn every brave fool into your next victim."
Yeah, Devolver Digital is at the helm on this one, and they've made some pretty great games in recent history. And of course, I love a good re-envisioning of like a villain as like the anti-hero. You know, the heroes are the bad guys trying to invade my house and take my stuff.
And hey, you know what? For my money, I love a reimagining of Dungeon Keeper.
Yes, I want to make the dungeon. The labyrinth is mine for
You
you
know-
to traverse.
You know, we're talking about callbacks in Origament. This is a hell of a callback.
Yeah, all the way back to Greek mythology, right?
Yeah, seriously, all the way back to Greek mythology and the 90s in these dungeon creator games. You know, Dungeon Keeper 2, all this kind of stuff. Overlord.
Yeah, if you've had enough SimCity building, you know, why not build a dungeon next?
And that is Minos. It too comes out tomorrow, Thursday, April 9th. It's the demo is on Steam now. Go try it.
Yes.
And we're going to take a quick break before I jump into our final topic of the night. But Drix, what are we jamming out to right now?
This song is from Cowboy Bebop on the PS1. This is Canyon Strike Scene 1.
So many cool games we didn't get over here in the States. Canyon Strike Scene 1, CFM Radio.
Clusterfuck Media.
We'll be back.
Let's go.
extra, read all about it. The best burgers in town from all around. People from around the world come and get it. The line goes around like a merry-go-round. Cut! Yes! You gotta heat. Yes, the heat. Very nicely. And toast. You got to cook. You know, doing good now. Come on and cut. Cut. Very nice. You got to heat. Heat. Toast. Yes. Toast. Very nice. And now cook. Yes. Right. Burgers, the fries, a shake or a friend. If you're hungry, simply line up at the end. Come on, people, gather round. We got everything you want from all around. Cut the lettuce. Cut the lettuce. You got to heat the grill. Heat the grill. Yeah. Toast the buns. My buns are very toasty. The buns. Cook the patties. Cook the patties. Serve the drinks. Serve them. Serve the drinks. Hurry up. And melt the cheese. Ow. Melt the cheese. French the fries. French the fries. French them. Sweep the floor. Sweep the floors. The ketchup, the mustard, the salt, and the pepper. Pour it on right, guys. We got no extra. You watch the grill. Control the flame, guys. Follow the rules. Stay productive and wise. And cook those burgers. Cook those burgers. Turn the patty over. Turn the patty over. Hey, come on and watch them fries. I'm not watch eating. Them fries. Better execute sooner. Better execute sooner. Bring on the ketchup. Bring on the ketchup. Don't forget the cheese. Don't forget the cheese. Bring on the mustard. Bring on the mustard. Handle it with ease. Handle it with ease. Burgers is all we have in mind. If it cooks the best, you better get in line. Now put it on the tray. Is it for here or to go? Any which way it tastes good, you know. Cook those burgers. Turn the patty over. Cut those burgers. Turn the patty over. And cut the lettuce. Don't forget the cheese. Cut the lettuce. Don't forget the cheese. Toast the buns. French the fries. Toast the buns. Come on. French the fries. Bring on the ketchup. Sweep the floors. Bring on the ketchup. Sweep the floors. Yeah. Now that's what I'm talking about. Now go serve those burgers right now.
All right. I'm off to a good start.
Oh man, gonna go serve some burgers. That one's a classic from Parappa the Rapper 2.
Yeah, we hope your fries are Frenched and your buns are nice and toasty. I was playing that one on the PlayStation Premium subscription too, but I gotta admit there was a little delay, so I couldn't really enjoy it thoroughly.
It's tough. It's tough.
You gotta time those hits. And the first Parappa the Rapper had a little adjustment in the options menu where you could tweak things like that, but not the sequel, which I thought was weird.
Yeah, it's a pretty weird one. But you know what? It's Parappa 2 is its own strange thing because the tracks are pretty hit and miss, you know. Like, it's not all bangers like Jammalami or Parappa 1, but it's still a game worth playing.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't really dive into it because I didn't hear great things about it when it came out, but I still got those bangers on deck in my video game music library for sure.
And I'll tell you what, talking about bangers, we're listening to a banger right now because this battle theme from Pokemon is the perfect thing to switch over to Pokemon Champions.
Oh yeah, it's not the pinball machine I've been hooked on lately. We got other Pokemon games we can play.
No,
not just this ain't a cozy Pokopia, is it?
Nah. This is you're seeing it on the screen. My Garchomp just took out both of those clowns. You know, he just took them right the fuck out. This is some old school. I mean, old school. We're talking Ruby Sapphire. Yeah, that's pretty old school. But like, you know, we're doing that double battle thing in here because that's what we do in the Pokemon, you know, VGC Championship or whatever they call it right now. Drix, I just gotta say, as someone who kind of fell out from the Pokemon games because, like, hey, listen, I'm a guy, I buy the Pokemon games, I get Master Ball rank in the first season or two, and then I just drop that shit because I don't want to sit there and grind everything out, and I don't really care about shinies or anything like that. So for me, when I see a game like this, it kind of feels like it's for me. Now, I will say there is a decent amount of controversy around this game right now.
Yeah, how did you end up playing it? Was this a beta or something?
No, it's a full release. It's out on Switch and Switch 2 right now. It is free to play. But
oh, there it is.
yeah, but here's the thing. It is good. There's a lot in here for the fan of Pokemon battling. You're seeing it on the screen right here. You can completely customize your Pokemon within the bounds of how you normally can from the mainline games. They get rid of terms like EV effort values, IV individual values. They get rid of things like that. They just call them stat points. You put the stat points on the Pokemon stats that you want. Trick them out the way you want. Give them whatever abilities, whatever moves. You're completely unrestricted. Some Pokemon even have new moves that you've never been able to use before.
Wow, just for this one, huh?
Yeah. So like moves, and sometimes they even take away moves. Like I have an Absol in this game. It's the dog with the blade on its head. And it's funny because that Pokemon can learn things like Night Slash, Shadow Claw, but the move Slash that it was able to learn in Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald is no longer available to it. So you have a little bit of balancing here, like in action. Like they didn't just take all the Pokemon or a select amount of Pokemon, because let's be 100% clear, they do not have every single Pokemon in this game.
Oh, that's a lot of Pokemon nowadays.
That's a lot of Pokemon. Yeah, and because here's the thing, Drix. When push comes to shove, this Pokemon Champions thing, it's supposed to be the competitive battler. Like this is where you're supposed to be doing it.
They're just doing, free-to-play live service Pokemon Stadium now, right?
Yeah, essentially. And you could think about that however you want, because it's not exactly Pokemon Stadium, you know what I mean? You can bring in your own Pokemon, but it's all with stipulations. They can only come in for about 24 hours, and then they're locked out for a period of time after that. So you got to play the game,
And I just might.
Yeah, and again, if you like Pokemon battling, this is absolutely for you. And they don't have every single Pokemon in the game. They don't have all of the different held items that all the Pokemon can use. But a lot of the cuts are pretty interesting. They put you as someone who is a veteran of competitive Pokemon battling. I've been in tournaments and things like that. I'm not a huge winner, but I know my way around a Pokemon battle. And it's interesting to see what we're given. We're not given some of the stronger items, such as like a life orb or heavy duty boots, or things such as a focus or a choice band. You know what I mean? To really put a Pokemon over the edge. We don't have a lot of those. And we don't have a lot of the Pokemon that become centralizing to a metagame. There's not a lot of, you don't have your Landorus. You don't have your Magearnas. You don't have your Kartanas. You don't have any of these Pokemon that completely warp the metagame around them. And you could take it or leave it. For my money, I think it's good, because it's like you were saying, Drix, there's a lot of Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm such a Gen 1 grandpa. I don't even know any of the ones you just listed.
Yeah, see, and that's the whole thing, right? For someone like you want to jump into this game and you want to be able to play. You don't want to have to pull out a fucking encyclopedia.
Yeah, exactly.
To all right, what's this thing's name?
Use the rent, okay?
Yeah, exactly. What's this thing's name? Fucking Arceus, what does it do? Okay, I guess I lose? it's one of those things where there is so many knowledge in real competitive Pokemon, and no holds barred. Even let's not even say no holds barred. Let's just say the last iteration of competitive Pokemon. There, which is again excluding some Pokemon, doesn't have every Pokemon in existence in it. There are knowledge checks that if you don't know what you're looking at on like turn 1, and you don't know, hey, he is sending out this Mon specifically to do one of like 3 things, and I need to be ready for it. And you're just kind of like, I don't know what that is. Headbutt.
Yeah, that would be me.
Yeah, you just lost the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, skill check.
Yeah, these knowledge checks in Pokemon are, in competitive level, are brutal. They're incredibly brutal. You see it in the B-roll here sometimes. I knowledge check, I win people simply off 1 Pokemon kill. Because it's one of those things where they do use Pokemon Stadium rules. You're packing 6, but you're picking 3 or 4.
Ah, okay. Yep. And that's where the strategy comes in.
Yep. And so it's one of those. If you have the strategy, you can pick people apart. But because the roster of Pokemon is so condensed, I believe there's 169.
Ooh, nice.
So it's a nice, digestible amount of Pokemon. In the game, this is one of the best, for a competitive-minded player, this is absolutely one of the best games that you could possibly get your hands on, simply because it illuminates a lot of strange and esoteric details that were present in older games, but were never elaborated on, such as what the difference is between a move, not just that is a physical versus special move, but the wrinkles and layers on that move. It's a special move, so it's not physically hitting you. But is it a sound-based move? Is it a move where like my Pokemon threw something at you? Is this a move where is it a psychic move? You know what I mean? And if it is a physical move, is it a punch? Is it a slash? These things matter in the grand metagame of Pokemon. And for the first time, you as a player are able to see, they lay it bare. What do the natures mean? Well, adamant nature means that you have normally above average attack and below average special attack. Period, end of story. That's just how you're gonna grow. So for the first time, you've seen that straight from the horse's mouth. And I gotta say, Drix, it's great to see that it's great to see it finally out in the open without having to go on like a website with a bunch of people who like data mined all this shit out. You know what I mean?
Wow, yeah, the real diehards who aren't scalping, right?
Yeah, like if you really just want to play the game or even want to learn really how to battle Pokemon battle, like actually battle, like what everything means. You're seeing it right here. Terminology, tailwind. What does that mean? You press plus. It means your speed doubles for as long as the tailwind's up.
No, this sounds like a great opportunity for, fellow Gen 1 grandpas like me to really get caught up with like the latest and most modern contemporary Pokemon mechanics. If you're thinking about diving back in, yeah, this sounds like a good opportunity to start climbing that learning curve.
And it's totally softballing. They give you a ton of tutorials. I think it's great. Like as a product, I think it's great. For me as a competitive player, do I want more Pokemon? Yes. Do I want more items? Yes. Do I want to have that variety so I can expand my strategic horizons? Absolutely. But I think, it's one of those things where, if I'm being real, we have been introduced to like this idea of restricted Pokedexes and competitive regulations where certain Pokemon are banned, certain moves are banned, certain strategies and weather conditions are no longer applicable. You know what I mean? This is just one of those things where I feel like if Pokemon and Game Freak and everybody involved is trying to legitimize the competition and set their own idea for what it is, this is just how they're going to do it.
Yeah. Wow. No, and at the very low price of absolutely free, it's not bad for a casual like me.
Yeah, and not just free. Even if you do want to spend money, the quote unquote starter pack, you get a lot of bang for your buck. I still have currency that I got from my starter pack that I have not used, and I'm on the ladder. I'm fighting hard, and I'm winning. And that was only $7.
Oh, yeah, not bad at all to get a little head start at your free-to-play game.
So even if you're even remotely interested in Pokemon battles, you definitely want to check out Pokemon Champions. And it doesn't matter if you're a Gen 1er like Drix over here, or you're like me who's kept up with the Joneses up until now, and you know about things like you know the difference between a Dynamax and a Z move.
What?
Yeah. So if you know all that stuff, you're rewarded. If you're unfamiliar with everything, this game, again, for the first time, lays everything bare and tells you exactly what every move does, exactly what every term means.
Yeah, I'm all for it. Might just have to download this on my Switch.
Yep. And it is absolutely something that if you're even remotely interested in it, you should check it out. And I'll end the show on this. Like, there's a lot of games out there that demand your time and demand that you learn nearly everything about it just to stand a fighting chance. If you are someone who's even remotely interested in Pokemon, like you're like Drix and you liked it when you were a kid, give this a shot now.
Yeah, sounds like you might be able to win a battle just by picking the right combination of 3 Pokemon.
Yeah, your strategy and your knowledge and like your idea, just the idea, all right, this is super effective against this. You know what I mean? Just having those things in the back of your head will help you out at this point. And I say play this now because I don't know what this is going to look like in a year.
Oh, yeah. Who knows what they could add in at any point?
At any point, this thing could take off, could make $1 billion overnight, and then all of a sudden in 6 weeks, we've got every different kind of evolution. We have a little cup challenge. You have so many. This game can go off the rails really quick. So if you're interested in, I really want to check out what it means to Pokemon battle on a level that is competitive, do this now. There has never been a better time, and I don't think there's going to be a better time.
Yeah, sounds like a nice, low investment, low hanging fruit kind of deal as far as entry level Pokemon battling is concerned.
Yeah, and it doesn't take you, and it takes you seriously. It doesn't it doesn't treat you like a baby. It doesn't. You could skip the tutorials. It's like, all right, here's how you pick a move. It's like, yeah, no, I know how to do this. Like you could skip that. It doesn't fuck around. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't fuck around. It doesn't waste your time. It doesn't do anything like that. And when for $7, you could get a pretty good head start.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of poke bang for your $7.
It is, and and with that, I do believe that we are coming to a conclusion of our show tonight. Thank you everybody for joining us, checking us out on our Wednesday nights. And you know what, guys? There's a lot of great games out there, and a lot of great games on the cheap. Marathon, only $40. Pokemon Champions right now is free. $7. Less than $10 for a starter pack that gets you. Hey, it got me. There is a gotcha element, but it got me 4 pulls.
Yeah, even Devil Jam might have gotten sort of a mid-tier review from us here on CFM Radio, but for like the price of $20, I had a lot of hours and a lot of good times and a lot of fun headbanging to the
jams and game that is Devil Jam.
Origament is less than $20. Fantastic little game. You might finish it pretty quick, but my God, you're not going to forget it anytime soon.
Yeah, you'll carry that sense of reward with you into the future. Definitely.
Yeah. So, lots of great games out right now. You don't need to break the bank if you want to have a great time. Hell, even Pokemon is free now.
Yeah, all shapes and sizes. There's something for everyone.
And I think that's about it for us. Drix.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by and listening to another edition of CFM Radio, video game music and news.
Video
We hope
game
to see you
music
today.
and news. See you next week.